when Dharma was challenged by desire and kings became symbols, to destinies collided not to conquer, but to restore the balance of the universe. In the age when God still walked among men, and the earth bore the footprints of both saints and monsters, a conflict arose that would define the eternal rhythm of righteousness. It was not merely a battle of strength, but a confrontation between two worldviews, between order and ambition, between Dharma and desire. At its heart stood two figures, Rama, the prince of Ayodhya, and Ravana, the king of Lanka. And though one was hailed as divine and the other condemned as a demon, their struggle was anything but simple. Rama was born to King Dasharatha of the Ikshvaku dynasty, a lineage believed to have sprung from the sun itself. From birth, he was marked by serenity, a calm presence that belied immense inner strength. He was trained in the arts of war and statecraft, tutored by sages, and revered for his character even more than his capabilities. He was a prince who understood restraint, who wielded power without letting it consume him. Yet even he could not escape the designs of fate. When Dasharatha prepared to crown Rama as king, Kaikeyi, one of his wives and mother to Bharata, demanded that her son be crowned instead. She invoked an old promise the king had once made to her. Rama, without protest, without bitterness, stepped aside. He chose exile for 14 years in the forests rather than disrupt his father's honor. This was no submission born of weakness. It was Dharmatha, cosmic order, that held the universe together. In that moment, Rama became more than a man. He became an idea that righteousness, even when it wounds, must be upheld. Sita, his wife, and Lakshmana, his devoted brother, followed him into exile. Together, they wandered through the dense forests of Danbaka, the shadows of ancient trees whispering the songs of old wars and forgotten gods. There they encountered sages and rakshasas, holy hermits and hungry demons. Every step tested Rama's resolve. But the true trial came not with sword or fire, but with silence. When Sita was abducted by Ravana, the king of Lanka, the silence shattered. Ravana was not merely a villain. He was a scholar of the Vedas, a devout follower of Shiva, and a king whose city shimmered with gold and wisdom. But pride is the first seed of ruin. Ravana believed that might conferred right, that wisdom could excuse desire, and so he took what was not his. He did not harm Sita. He did not force her, but he stole her, not just from Rama, but from her own destiny. In doing so, he tore the fabric of Dharma. Rama's pursuit of Sita was not driven by possession, but by restoration. He allied with the Vanaras, the forest-dwelling monkey folk, whose prince Hanuman became his most devoted servant. Together, they built bridges across oceans, raised armies from jungles, and marched to war, a destiny neither could escape. The war between Rama and Ravana was not merely fought on a battlefield. It was fought within. Rama faced doubts, rage, loss. Ravana faced prophecy, pride, and a brother's warnings. Vibhishana, Ravana's own kin, defected to Rama's side, not for betrayal, but for truth. He saw the storm that Ravana summoned upon Lanka, and he chose to stand where righteousness shone, even if it meant standing against blood. When Rama finally stood before Ravana, it was not joy that surged in his heart, but gravity, for he knew that slaying Ravana meant more than victory. It meant the end of an era, an end to a brilliant but corrupted soul. The battle was long. Magic clashed with might. Celestial weapons lit up the sky. And when the final arrow, the Brahmastra, left Rama's bow and pierced Ravana's heart, the earth fell silent. Ravana did not fall with a scream. He fell with dignity. For even in defeat, he remained a king. Rama instructed Lakshmana to learn from him, to ask him of wisdom before his final breath left him. Because knowledge, even when housed in a fallen enemy, must be honored. Sita was returned, but her trials were not over. To preserve honor and silence doubt, she walked through fire. The flames recognized her purity and refused to burn her. But Rama, bound by his role as king, not just husband, later asked her to leave. For the whispers of a kingdom weigh heavily on a ruler's heart. Sita, who had walked through forest and flame, now walked alone into the earth. Her mother, years passed. Rama ruled Ayodhya with justice, but his eyes never again held the same light. He had fulfilled every duty, upheld every law, but the cost of Dharma had carved its toll upon his soul. In the end, he walked into the river Sarayu and returned to the divine from which he came, a god once more, but never again the same. The tale of Rama and Ravana is not just a story of good and evil. It is the story of balance, of choices made, not for self, but for the world. Ravana was brilliant, but unbound. Rama was just, but burdened. Both were great, but only one chose restraint over desire. That is the heart of Dharma. And so, their story lives on, not in the clash of swords, but in the quiet moments of decision, in the spaces where power meets purpose, in the echo of Rama's footsteps through the forest, in the stillness of Ravana's final breath. It lives wherever the question is asked, what is right when right is not easy? For the cosmic balance does not demand perfection, it demands intention. And those who walk its path do not shine for being flawless, but for choosing light even when darkness tempts. Rama chose that light, and the world remembers.